Monster Hunter Wilds is an incredible game. In this video, we're going to go over the beta gameplay from the weekend and the new features that this game has to offer. So, no Monster Hunter game would be complete without a robust character customizer, and this game is no different. Amazing graphics. There's hair strand. The detail on the hair is crazy. I went a little bit crazy looking at it all. You can change the length of some of the options. You have two-tone hair colors. You can change where the gradient is on the hair. It is a really detailed, very nice system. And we have every color under the sun for skin tones, as well as hair colors. They give us the full RGB slider for hair colors. So thank you, Capcom. There are so many games nowadays, you know who I'm talking about, that don't do this. So thank you for giving us the full customizability. We really, really appreciate it. The only thing I really felt was lacking was the body modifiers. You really had no bust, hip, or height modifiers whatsoever. You were able to change your muscle tone, and you were able to change the bust a little bit, but honestly, there really wasn't all that much of a difference. So I'm really hoping that there is a more robust body modification because, quite frankly, all the body styles are very, very similar. But hopefully that comes out with the full release. So we shall reserve judgment on that until the actual release date. But the cutscenes and the graphics, great, fantastic. Everything you've come to expect from Monster Hunter. They are beautiful. The tutorial itself was very simple and easy to navigate. It didn't really have to hold your hand, which was really nice. I think I got through the tutorial in like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. It really did not take that long. So that was a really nice thing. We were able to go straight into the game and trying out all of the weapons. So that was very nice. We get the mount right off the bat as well. So I will say on this mount, I was so frustrated in the beginning, okay? So this mount has an auto run ability, which will automatically take you to whatever you mark on your map or the monster that you're looking for, which is great. By the end of the beta, I was absolutely loving the mechanic. But until I had changed the controls of the mount itself, I was getting so frustrated because it was auto running everywhere and it was just taking me on a wild goose chase. But luckily, we are able to change how it kind of moves, and you can make it come off of its auto run very easily once you learn the buttons. So a little bit of an interface issue and button issue, but once you learn it, it's really not that bad. So it was a huge quality of life update in the end that just really took some getting used to. But really, Monster Hunter has outdone itself with these environments. This one map is huge. It is a massive map. I would say probably twice as big as a normal map in Monster Hunter, if not larger. Not only is it just large, have a large footprint, it also has a ton of verticality to it. There are tons of shortcuts. There's lots of complicated environment issues. There are things you can interact with everywhere. It is really, really cool. They did a great job, and it doesn't feel empty. There are monsters everywhere. There's foliage, there's bugs, there's everything to make this environment really feel full and for you to really feel like you're also surrounded by monsters and going out into the wild and hunting these guys down. So it is a really cool environment. And even though the map is huge, it doesn't feel empty in the town either because this game has players in the town. You have a lobby with up to 100 people in the town where you are currently going. So that is a really nice feature. You get to see people, you get to see what they turn their equipment into, you see all the palicos running around. So it is really cool to finally have a hub and a center where you can see a bunch of other people and invite your friends as well to join your lobby. And your lobby will also be included in that public space if you're all sharing the same environment, which was really cool. Once again, I will say Monster Hunter does kind of suffer from like menuception, where there's menus inside of menus inside of other menus. And as far as it goes with friends and getting your friends and getting them all in the right party and making sure that you're all on the right quest, it was a little bit difficult to navigate. There were a little bit of connection issues as well. So hopefully in the main game, that system becomes a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more intuitive to use. But it did work, it did function in the beta, and that's really all that we can ask for at this point in the beta. So I fully expect these to really be ironed out before release. But now onto the gameplay. So I tried every single weapon that they gave us, which was every weapon in the game. You could start off with any weapon and go into your hut and change it anytime you wanted to. but it was an awesome improvement over most of the other games. I really felt that they took all the feedback that we've been giving them in regards to Rise and Worlds, and they have come together and really created a fantastic feeling combat system. Every single weapon that I played, I say was an improvement over the previous games. Especially Worlds. I know people love Worlds, but honestly, I felt like that was pretty clunky and slow, so they did speed up a lot of the combat maneuvers. However, I don't really feel like they were quite as fast as Rise, so they have struck a middle ground, I believe, between the two games that really generally felt good to play for basically every single weapon. I am a Swax main, so I'm going to kind of nitpick the Swax more. I felt like the mounted punishing move was a little bit more punishing to activate than it should have been. But all in all, I think the gameplay was smooth. I miss my wire bugs because they were my get out of jail free card. But you know, that's okay. That's okay. We'll just get better, and I will learn how to be a better Swax player, and I won't use my wire bug crutch anymore. It's very sad. But it was still fun. It was still absolutely fun to play. The Swax still felt powerful. I got to knock over monsters still. I was having a blast. Sword and Board was very stabby. It was honestly really fun, really fast. It was powerful. You could block, you could counter. The new mechanic where you would take a monster and charge head on, and you'd literally like go in a battle clash, and you would, you know, just fight them head. That was so cool. And the animations for it were awesome. So that was a really fun mechanic. I felt like the clashing was a little bit easier to get off on, like the great sword, for instance. It was really easy to clash with the monsters with that one. I very rarely got it with the Swax, and the Sword and Board was okay. You can get that one relatively easy, but some weapons are definitely better for things than others. They have the new wound mechanic, which, yeah, that thing is super fun. You have a targeted ability. I can't say like how much I enjoy the fact that you can target and aim your swings in the direction that you want them to go in. This is a really nice quality of life thing. Great for every weapon. I really enjoy it. So W combat changes, all in all, very good. I don't think that there's anything that they really like messed up on, or it's gonna be very, no, they did a wonderful job on all of the weapons. They've improved all of them significantly. And I really look forward to the main game and seeing which kinds of weapon upgrades we can get. We didn't get to see any of the upgrade trees. We didn't get to see any of the armor sets yet, but the ones that we were given in our box. So we have no idea what's coming out, and I'm really excited to see what they have. So I will say the way that you can use your environment in your fights is really fun. In other games, you've had this where you would take the monster over to this area and you would trap them here, etc., etc. But this game takes it to an entirely new level. Just the graphics alone of dropping a pillar on a monster really feels like you are bringing the environment down around yourself. It is a fantastic feel. It's just good. It felt good. It looked good. You know, when your friends try to do on top of you, it's not good, but you know, friends are foes, right? But it's really cool how you can interact with the environment in this game, and it really matters. And not only do you interact with the environment, you have other monsters coming and interacting with you. Like, I was fighting this one monster, okay? And he turned around and he picked up another monster and he threw it at me. It was wild. It was crazy. And whoever coded all these monster interactions did a really good job and deserves a raise, because that was the funniest thing, and it made perfect sense. It was so funny though. It was a really cool interaction, and I just can't wait to see what they do with all the other bosses and everything. Anytime two monsters were clashing, it was seamless animation. It just looked really good. And you felt like you were right there in the middle of it, and you felt like you were in danger, because honestly you very much were. So it was really cool, and I really look forward to the new monsters that are gonna be put in this game. Like the Raidal. Oh my goodness, that boy was such a fun fight. The mechanics are really good. They're smooth. I keep saying that, and the reason I say that is because in some of the previous games, it's been very jarring, where you would do one thing, and then the boss would all of a sudden come in and like do something else, but there was really no like visual indicator they were going to do that or anything like that. But I will say, in this game, it was very clear what the boss was mostly going to do. The patterns were not the easiest to read, but they were readable patterns. The boss didn't really glitch through anything. The sand dune area was a little bit like you could cheese the boss based on, the elevation, but I mean, that's tactics, so that's certainly a terrible thing. So all in all, I think that the monsters have been coded very well. The fights were really fun. Enjoyable. It was very, very enjoyable. It was not very frustrating at all. It was fun to play. And I will say this is probably one of the harder Monster Hunter games I have played, especially like in the early stages of the game. You really had to work to bring these monsters down. I feel like in previous games it was always a walk in the park and you can just kind of like walk through your first 2 or 3 stars. I'm really hoping that this game is going to give us some difficulty, because these monsters to begin with, they weren't really a pushover. They were not a walk in the park. You still had to work for them, and that just was a really nice feeling. So, and based on the environment, some of the bosses even got buffed. So when they made it to their nest, and this was something that I never really understood in the main game, the other games, is that the boss would go to its nest and it would just lay there and go to sleep. Well, in this game, when these monsters go back to their nest, yeah, they go to sleep, but when they wake up, or if they don't go to sleep or whatever, they have empowered moves in their home. So their native nest, their main area, is way more dangerous to fight them in than if you were to fight them anywhere in the wild or anything like that, because they get a power. So like Ray Dahl would have like bigger lightning strikes and a bigger AoE, and then on top of that, you were on terrain where you were kind of slowed and it was really hard to maneuver in. So it was really not beneficial to fight them in their nests. And I think that's a really cool mechanic, to either try to figure out a way to drive them out of their nests or try to kill them before they ever get back to it. So I think that is a really cool mechanic. The sinkhole opened up to be like half the size of the map. It was just really cool how these monsters really altered their environment by being in their main nest. And I really can't wait to see this idea carried throughout the entire game, because it was very immersive. It was really cool, very surprising the first time it happens to you as well. So yeah, it was awesome. And I really look forward to seeing all of the other options that do come out later as well. So to summarize, overall, the gameplay, the environments are fantastic. A couple things that we didn't get to see in the beta that I really hope they make it to the full version. I spoke about it earlier with the character customizer, hopefully being able to body modify a little bit more, maybe add some tattoos and things of that nature. But speaking of customization, our mount. Okay, so if you go into the center of the map, there was the town of the locals, and if you went in there and you explored that area, you would have found a little area that had the pin where our mounts kind of originated from. And in that pin, you could see a couple different varieties. They had different feather styles, different patterning, different colors. So I'm really hoping that we will also have the ability to customize how our mount looks, and hopefully also how the mount's like barding is. So whether the saddle changes or the reins change, or if we get different bags and things like that. I hope that we get to fully customize our rideable mount. That is something that I really think that should be added 100% before the game's released, because I don't think everyone wants a purple chicken raptor in the background. I think that we should all be able to pick the colors, etc., that we would like, kind of like how we do our Palico. So I'm hoping that's added to the final game. I don't know, but like I said, that one area really gives me hope that this will be fully customizable, and the fact that it's on our player cards. Anytime something's in our player cards, we can usually customize them. So I'm really, really hoping that we get this ability in the final game. And the other thing that I really want them to add is the ability to modify your switch skills. So this was in Rise. It was a really nice mechanic. It really helped you tailor your builds a little bit to either the monsters that you're fighting, or if you just have a general play style that you like more. I think it's a really key component to making the builds more individualized. So hopefully this does happen in the game. I know on Rise it was a later mechanic, so I'm personally not too worried about it not making it into the game. I'm hoping that it is here. We just didn't get to experience it in the beta because we only got to do the starting missions in the starting area. But I think that we really need the ability to kind of customize our movesets a little bit, especially with how some of the movesets felt. It felt like every single move, like it felt like every single weapon was missing something. And I don't know if I'm the only one that felt that way, but when I was playing them all, they felt good, they felt fun, but it really felt like every single one of them was missing like one key one key thing, like one key component, something. It was missing some sort of oomph. You know, there was something else that there's like a spot that needed to be filled. So I'm hoping later on that we do get some ways to customize our movesets and things of that nature to make it a little bit more diverse and fun for particular playstyles. I guess the last change would be the huge elephant in the room, the performance issues. Personally, I only experienced a single crash in the launch. Otherwise, I didn't really have any graphical issues unless I was switching between like the main game and the character customizer. It took like a second, not even a minute, like a couple seconds to load. I had a couple polygons here and there, but other than that, it was mostly fine. I had no like actual gameplay mechanic issues. It was mostly connection issues between myself and my party members, but the networking issues I fully expect them to have fixed before launch. I'm not too worried about networking, but hopefully they really do optimize this game down to where you do not need a top of the NPC like I have to run, because that's going to be really detrimental to most of the PC community. I know that a lot of people really did have problems, so Capcom, I'm sure you'll fix it, but once again, it needs to be said, please, please optimize, and then we will all be good to go. So, my question for you guys is, what's your main weapon? Because I'm the Swax main, so let me know what weapon you guys are planning to main in Wilds, and please comment below, like, and subscribe for more content. I do plan to play this game a hellacious amount upon release, and I mean, like, no sleep, head empty, full stop days on it. I'm gonna be grinding the heck out of this game when it releases, so I'll be making more guide videos then as well, so please look forward to it and let me know if you guys have any questions.